Chaplain Brian Smith will lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Father, what an incredible privilege it is to live in Blount County. Lord, I thank you for the commission members in front of us tonight, God, who have chosen to step up and serve this community. God, for the ones who this is their last commission meeting tonight, God, I just pray that you bless them extra special and for their service and their willingness to do what they do. It's not an easy gig. Lord, tonight, I just pray that your wisdom, your guidance will fill this place, that every discussion that's had, Lord, every decision that's made, you'll be right in the middle of it. And most important than anything, Lord, pray that your will be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
BCSO deputy will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Chaplain. Thank you, deputies, for leading us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome everyone to the Thursday, August 18th, 2026 Board of County Commissioners meeting for Blount County, Tennessee. At this time, we will have the emergency evacuation procedures announcement.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you've reached the main floor, follow the exit signs and exit the building. Quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
All right, Madam Clerk, at this time, please take the roll call.
Mr. Chairman, you have 17 members present, 4 members are absent.
17 members present, 4 absent. I will declare that a quorum is in attendance. Commissioner King had a conflict, and Commissioner Bledsoe is out for illness. Commissioners, if there's no objection, we will add item as new business, item G14, which is Randy Early Howard resignation / declination of elected position. That is for the school board. Oh, and also, if there's no objection, we will add item B, general consent calendar. That was erroneously omitted. Any objection to adding the general consent calendar items or item G14, Randy Early Howard declination? All right, hearing none, without objection, those items will be added to the agenda. All right, we will move on to item A, setting of the agenda. With those changes, Chair will stand for a motion to set the agenda as published with those changes. I have a motion from Commissioner Bright, second from Commissioner Giles. Any discussion on the setting of the agenda? Seeing none, if you're in favor of setting the agenda as published with those changes, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion carries, and the agenda is set as published and with those changes. All right, at this time, there is a special presentation. Well, actually, let's vote on the general consent calendar first. Item B, general consent calendar. Chair will stand for a motion to adopt the general consent calendar. I have a motion from Commissioner Bright to adopt the general consent calendar and a second from Commissioner Martin. Any discussion on the general consent calendar? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting the general consent calendar, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion carries, and the general consent calendar is adopted. All right, at this time, we have a presentation by the school board, so if those members could come forward and be recognized in the well, and then we will have additional presentations following.
We have a proclamation this evening honoring our Mayor Ed Mitchell for his exceptional dedication and exemplary service to Blount County public education. Whereas the Honorable Mayor Ed Mitchell has served the citizens of Blount County with profound distinction, steadfast integrity, and visionary leadership throughout his distinguished tenure over 16 years. And that whereas throughout his administration, Mayor Mitchell has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the youth and future of our community through his resolute advocacy for the county's public school system. And whereas he has championed critical initiatives to secure modern and safe learning environments, robust extracurricular resources, expanded pathways for academic excellence and personal growth. And whereas his collaborative spirit has forged an enduring partnership between the Blount County government and the Board of Education, consistently elevating public education as a community cornerstone. And whereas his enduring legacy of leadership has left an indelible mark on the lives of countless Blount County students, educators, and families, thereby strengthening the very fabric of our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Blount County Board of Education does hereby extend its deepest gratitude, highest commendation to the Honorable Mayor Ed Mitchell for 16 years of devoted advocacy, transformative leadership, and exceptional support of Blount County public education. And be it further resolved that this proclamation be officially recorded within the minutes of the board, and a copy be presented to Mayor Mitchell as a tangible token of our profound appreciation and warmest wishes for a rewarding and fulfilling retirement. And from all of us at Blount County Schools, thank you.
All right, Mayor, don't go anywhere. Please stay right there. I'm going to ask Chairman Pro Tem Bright and Clerk Hasty to join me in the well for further proclamations. All right, the Board of Commissioners also has a proclamation for Mayor Ed Mitchell. A proclamation honoring Mayor Ed Mitchell for his dedicated service to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee. Be it proclaimed by the Board of Commissioners of Blount County, Tennessee in regular session assembled this 18th day of August 2026. Whereas it is fitting that the citizens and leadership of Blount County, Tennessee formally recognize individuals who have performed with uncommon devotion, integrity, and enthusiasm throughout their public service careers. And whereas Mayor Ed Mitchell is a sixth-generation Blount Countyan who continues to reside on his historic family farm, first settled in 1800, he has dedicated 47 years to public service, beginning his legacy of community care by serving his first 4 years in law enforcement, then 27 years in fire safety, with his last 15 years as the Maryville Fire Chief before retiring. And whereas, having been first elected in August 2010, Mayor Mitchell has served with supreme distinction for 4 consecutive terms as the Chief Fiscal Officer and Executive Leader of Blount County until the conclusion of his term in August 2026. And whereas under his leadership, the county accomplished a major IT modernization program, implemented the first ever employee and classification program for all county employees, created the BCSO EMR program, initiated a chaplain program for employees in all departments, including our schools, prioritized capital investments to our county buildings, the Eagleton Ballpark renovation, and drastically reduced its public debt to a mere fraction of what it was when he took office, ensuring decades of fiscal stability and strong credit for the region. And whereas Mayor Mitchell's spirit of collaboration was instrumental in the partnerships between county government, local businesses, industries, nonprofits, and with our local municipalities, including the local and state partnership necessary to ensure the Great Smoky Mountains National Park remained open during any federal government shutdowns that occurred during his tenure, accomplishing the only national park to stay completely open during the fall of 2025. Whereas his administration successfully catalyzed regional economic growth, securing marquee recruitments such as Smith & Wesson and the $200 million flagship Amazon fulfillment hub, a Denso expansion, also supporting Blount County small businesses while continuously keeping local taxes low. And whereas Mayor Mitchell championed crucial community assets, orchestrating the life-saving partnership between Blount Memorial Hospital and Prisma Health to secure premier health care for all citizens, and whereas he has consistently demonstrated a deep reverence for the nation's armed forces, making it a priority to ensure local veterans are individually celebrated and supported. And whereas Mayor Mitchell has officially announced his retirement, choosing not to seek a fifth term, leaving behind an indelible legacy of leadership, stewardship, and a better prepared community for the future, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Blount County Board of Commissioners does hereby honor Mayor Ed Mitchell and urge all citizens to join in extending our deepest appreciation to Mayor Mitchell for making Blount County a place where families can live the American dream every day.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the people of Blount County for allowing me to I hope you know I humbly served you for 16 years. I never took this position as a position of power or a position of ego. I took this as a position to help the people in this county every day, and that was what I came to work to do. I appreciate this proclamation. I really appreciate the Board of Education proclamation. I'm glad that that's where we're leaving. That's where we're at. That's where we're at right now, because I remember the battles that we've had for years and years. But the fact that we're able to come together, and it's what it ought to be about. We shouldn't be having those battles. Those battles should be for someone else. They're not for us, because that's not who we are. That's not who Blount County is, and we're not going to have battles over our children. The welfare of our children should always be a priority, and it shouldn't be a battle that's fought in this chamber right here. And we've been able to do that, and now, I mean, look at the tremendous rewards that we're having. We've had a lot of battles with different things that have come along. I want to say I appreciate the commission standing by. I couldn't have done any of this without the commission's support, and that's one of the things as mayor you have to realize, and as an elected official. You know, the legislative branch has to be in step with you to make the things happen that you want to have happen. So for 16 years, we've never borrowed a dime. We've opened high school. We've done a lot of work. Put 85 million to 60 million into all the school systems, and never had to borrow a dime to do that. Well, that's not me. That's this commission. That's the commission and I working together on that. And I just want to say thank you to the commission, all the commissioners, the ones that for the last 16 years that have had the same vision that I've had, and those that love this county as much as I do. And I just want to thank the people of Blount County. They've really blessed this kid. I'm just a kid from Eagleton Village. I grew up in Eagleton Village, and that's all I ever was, and that's all I'll ever be. But the people of Blount County have made me feel that I've been able to give back, and I thank God for that every day. Thank you. Now it's my turn to return some of these favors. And I've asked if I could, please, be able to read this one. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to have to put on my glasses because, Gay, starting to use a lot smaller font than we used to. Whereas Jared Anderson began his tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 5th Commission District, Seat A, on September 1st, 2018. Having been reelected by district citizens in 2022, marking a total of 8 years of dedicated public service to the Blount County citizens. And whereas while serving as Blount County Commissioner, Jared Anderson has contributed generously and earnestly of his time, endeavoring to help the citizens in his district as well as all citizens of Blount County by giving support for the implementation of policies which have resulted in a more stable financial status and the continuance of a low annual property tax rate, the approval of a partnership between Blount Memorial Hospital, BMH, and Prisma, passage of a resolution for a contingency plan to use local state funds to keep the Great Smoky Mountains National Park operational and during its federal shutdown, establishing and coordinating a committee for the Blount County celebration efforts to honor the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and maintaining an outstanding animal control program while giving support of many educational requests and projects, including several which were in his district. And whereas during his term in office, Jared Anderson has served on the Board of Commissioners as Chair Parliamentarian of the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Vice Chair, Finance Committee, Audit Committee, Human Resource Committee, Chair, Insurance Committee, Chair, Vice Chair, Ad Hoc Committee to review Board of Commissioners rules, he served as the Chair, Redistricting Committee and Commission Rules Committee. And whereas Jared Anderson, while serving as County Commission, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Jared Anderson in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Jared Anderson to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized. I also want to say that as leaving as mayor of 16 years, I don't think there's anyone that I could have left this in the hands of that's any more responsible and any more deserving. Thank you, Jared.
All right, I'd like to call Commissioner French forward. We're going to do these one at a time, so. All right. All these proclamations have the same general middle, so we're going to read the interesting parts. So, whereas Ron French began his tenure as the Blount County Commissioner, I do need those glasses. Whereas Ron French began his tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 9th Commission District, Seat A, on September 1st, 1998, having been reelected by district citizens in 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, and 2020, marking a total of 24 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Ron French has served on the Board of Commissioners as Chairman, Vice Chairman, Commission Agenda, Workshop Committee, Audit Committee, Beer Board as Chairman, Cable Television Authority, Education Committee as Chairman, Ethics Committee, Emergency Communications District E911 Board, Emergency Medical Services Board, Human Resources and Insurance, Planning Commission, Public Services Committee, Records Commission, Veterans Affairs Committee, Ad Hoc Committee to study Commission rules, Redistricting Committee, and Commission Rules Committee. And whereas Ron French, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Ron French in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County, therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Ron French to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. Whereas Mike Kaler began his tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 3rd Commission District, Seat B, on September 1st, 2010, having been reelected by district citizens in 2014, 2018, and 2022, marking a total of 16 years of dedicated public service to the Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Mike Kaler has served on the Board of Commissioners, Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Allocation of Space Committee, E911 Board, Education Committee, Planning Commission, Blount Corrections Partnership, Ad Hoc Committee to study recycling, Emergency Communications, Ad Hoc Committee to study requirements of the Open Records Council, Ad Hoc Committee to study Commission rules, Purchasing Commission, Budget Committee, and Emergency Medical Service Board. And whereas Mike Kaler, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Mike Kaler in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Mike Kaler to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized. Thank you, Mike, for everything.
Up next, I have Darren Bledsoe, and Brad Bowers will be after this. Whereas Darren Bledsoe began his tenure as a Blount County Commissioner for the 2nd Commission District, Seat B, on September the 1st, 2022, marking a total of 4 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Darren Bledsoe has served on the Board of Commissioners, the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Information Technology Committee, and the Planning Commission. Brad, you want to come up? And Quentin, you'll be next. Whereas Brad Bowers began his tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 8th Commission District, Seat B, on September the 1st, 2014, having been reelected by district citizens in 2018, 2022, marking a total of 12 years of dedicated public service to the Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Brad Bowers has served on the Board of Commissioners, the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Ag Extension Committee, Education Committee, Vice Chair, Emergency Medical Services Board, Planning Commission, Ad Hoc Committee to study the feasibility of recycling in Blount County, and Parks and Recreation Commission. And whereas Brad Bowers, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served as an advocate for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given Brad in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Brad Bowers, a citizen of Blount County, Tennessee, is sincerely appreciated and hereby honored and recognized.
Take a picture.
Yep. Quentin Caldwell. Whereas Quentin Caldwell began his tenure as a Blount County Commissioner for the 7th Commission District C-Day after being nominated and appointed on November 21st, 2024. And whereas during his term in office, Quentin Caldwell has served on the Board of Commissioners, the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Emergency Medical Services Board, and Fire Protection District Board. And whereas Quentin Caldwell is serving as County Commissioner has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Quentin Caldwell and selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Quentin Caldwell, the citizen of Blount County, Tennessee, is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized. Up next, I have Scott King. Whereas Scott King began his tenure as a Blount County Commissioner for the 3rd Commission District C-Day after being nominated and appointed on September the 12th, 2017, and having been re-elected by district citizens in 2018 and 2022, making a total of 9 years of dedicated public service to the Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Scott King has served on the Board of Commissioners, Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Beer Board, and Planning Commission.
Stacy Crisp Martin. Don't do that. Whereas Stacy Crisp Martin began her tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 7th Commission District, Seat B, on September 1st, 2018, having been re-elected by district citizens in 2022, making a total of 8 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during her term of office, Stacy Crisp Martin has served on the Board of Commissioners, the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Beer Board, Education Committee, Finance Committee, and Animal Center Advisory Board. And whereas Stacy Crisp Martin, while serving as a county commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers. And whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Stacy in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Stacy Crisp Martin to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized. Earl McMahon is not here tonight. He began his tenure as Blount County Commissioner for 1st District Seat B on September 22, making a 4 years of dedicated service to Blount County. Whereas his office had on the Commissioner, the Committee Workshop, and Michael's tenure for the total of 8 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during his term in office, Steve Michaels has served on the Board of Commissioners, Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, also serving as a Vice Chair, Ad Hoc Committee to review Board of Commissioners rules, Agriculture Extension Committee, Beer Board Chairman, Education Committee, Planning Commission, Veterans Affairs Committee, Commission Rules Committee, Finance Committee, Human Resources Committee, and Insurance Committee. And whereas Steve Michaels, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Steve in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Steve Michaels to the citizens of Blount County is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized.
This is the boss.
He is the boss. Whereas Dawn Reagan began her tenure as the Blount County Board Commissioner for the 4th District Commission Seat B on September 1st, 2018, having been re-elected by district citizens in 2022, making a total of 8 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during her term in office, Dawn Reagan has served on the Board of Commissioners, the Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Beer Board, Education Committee Chair, Library Board of Trustees, and Drug Prevention Education Program and Implementation Committee. And whereas Dawn Reagan, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all Blount County taxpayers. And whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Dawn in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Dawn Reagan to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized.
Look at Miss Amy. Say cheese.
Miss Linda. No, we won't do that tonight. Whereas Linda Webb began her tenure as the Blount County Commissioner for the 10th Commission District Seat A on September the 1st of 2018, having been re-elected by district citizens in 2022, making a total of 8 years of dedicated public service to Blount County citizens. And whereas during her term in office, Linda Webb has served on the Board of Commissioners, Commission Agenda Workshop Committee, Animal Center Advisory Board, and Planning Commission. And whereas Linda, while serving as County Commissioner, has faithfully served and advocated for all of Blount County taxpayers, and whereas Blount County sincerely appreciates the many contributions given by Linda in selfless service to the citizens of Blount County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the citizens of Blount County Legislative Body that the dedicated public service of Linda Webb to the citizens of Blount County, Tennessee is sincerely appreciated and is hereby honored and recognized.
Flag. I don't have any food.
Here, that's yours, Shay.
thank you, everyone. Next, we will have item C, public input on items on the agenda. I have a couple of cards that I'm going to call first, and then we'll take volunteers from the audience. So first, we have Theodore Saltos. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. Speakers, when you come up, please remember that please address the commission as a whole and not individual commissioners or the chair. Please address the chair or the commission as a whole. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please tell us your name, the district in which you live, if you know it, and the item that you wish to speak to before you begin your comments.
Thank you, sir. I am Dr. Theodore Saltus, and I have come to address the Commission on item 2608017 regarding medical transport. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I have come here as the medical director for Coffin Transport Service. This item has the admirable goal of improving patient service and safety, but in fact it will not achieve that. There is a national and statewide shortage of acute care ambulance services, and there are too many transports with ambulances that are not acute care. I know this as a physician, as well as in my looking at both law and data on ambulance transport. Coffin Transport Service is a non-emergent ambulance service to provide transport to doctors' offices from private homes or nursing care facilities for individuals who have primarily mobility limitations. And this will improve outcomes because it frees acute care ambulances to provide the service for which they are best suited, the care of acutely ill people being transported to emergency rooms and hospitals. As a measure, another element of the resolution is a concern about mileage, and there is no question that Mr. Coffin's vehicles do indeed have high mileage. What it obscures is the proportion of ambulances and of public service vehicles in general that have astonishingly high mileage. What would be high for a car is routine in public service. 1/3 of fire trucks have more than 250,000 miles. Among ambulances in Tennessee, I have here for you references, there is a 43-page list of ambulances in active service with more than 200,000 miles. Those ambulances include ones with more than 500,000 miles of service, and they are still operating. Mr. Coffin's vehicles have been beautifully maintained. There is absolutely no purpose in limiting ambulances a priori based on mileage. Lest this issue be considered a purely public one where there might be limitations because of tax money, every major private provider of ambulance services has ambulances in service with mileages up to 672,000 miles. This includes Puckett, First Response, AMR, and LifeTech. I have here for you my references, and if you wish to have them in the minutes, my credentials. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Saltus. All right, next we have Jim Coffin. Please come forward, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jim Carrin. We're in Blount County, so I'll say it the right way. Callhorn. There's a lot of confusion with that. There seems to be a lot of confusion with me, so who am I, what do I do, who am I to the community? I'm a father. I'm one of you. I'm born and raised in Blount County, just turned 45, been here all my life. I've been a business owner for 2 decades with multiple businesses, helping whoever I can in the community. The other side of this life has been 16 years in a rescue squad, both Greenback and Blount County, serving up to assistant chief and captain. I've also been a firefighter with our Blount County Fire Protection District for 15 years. So the start of CTS, or Callhorn Transport Service, was not something that was brought up without reason or need. The design was not to go into business to go after the emergency services contract. I saw what happened with Priority 15 years ago. That was a challenge. That is not something that I'm ready to go into. The definitions for this resolution leave a lot to desire because the definitions and things that are being asked for are from someone who has no idea how an ambulance service should be created and operated. There are only 3 ambulance services in this county: Priority, AMR, and Car and Transport Service. I'm the only one that created one. I was not hired or voted in or built into a franchise to be here. So the things that are being asked for in this resolution are things that the state mandates anyways. Vehicles, yes, my vehicles are older, but they have been maintained, they have been inspected, and it's not just inspected by whatever mechanic. There is a process that the state allowed, the state vetted, and they still gave me my license. Here's that process. It has to be inspected by a current ASE certified mechanic. That is very hard to find. They also have to be, the inspection has to be turned in. Their certification has to go with that. And then we have to have a truck checkoff every 72 hours, whether the truck is in service or not. These are all things that must be done and can be inspected by the state and are inspected by the state annually every single year. What I have in my hand is a book. I call it my Bible for my company. It is filled with everything that is required to be vetted and to jump through the hoops that the state requires for me to be an ambulance service. I didn't just wake up one day and start this. I will jump through the hoops that the state had to become a mandated ambulance service, but I am not emergency.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Sir. Anyone else wish to speak to items? Yes, ma'am.
Hey guys, my name is Jasmine and I am speaking on the same resolution. I come to you today as a nurse who requires transport for patients pretty regularly. I want to speak about this resolution because non-emergency transport, especially for patients who are bed-bound or stretcher-bound, is very hard to achieve in our community. First, let me be very clear. I support high standards for ambulance services. I support safe vehicles, qualified personnel, appropriate insurance, and accountability because patient safety should always be our #1 priority. But I truly feel that this falls under patient safety. It also means being sure that the most vulnerable citizens in our community are able to actually get medical care. Patients in Blount County, there are approximately 32,500 residents over the age of 65, and 10,000 of those are disabled. In Knox County alone, and Blount and Knox County, there are approximately 168,000 people who are living with disabilities that would often require some sort of transport. Certainly not all of those require stretcher transports, but if even a small percentage of those people needed a stretcher transport, it's almost impossible to get that for just dialysis visits and things like that. When your emergency services are geared toward emergency type services, those people get called away, and people who have their required dialysis appointment or have to get to a cardiologist get pushed back in the line, and so they don't receive the services timely, and those sorts of things. Being able, and putting restrictions such as this would also incur greater cost on those people. When personnel such as CTS are able to transport these patients at a lower cost, I know that it probably makes a lot of ambulance services upset, but it is a cost that is given to the people that are receiving the benefits of. These people live on fixed incomes. These are disabled persons that we're talking about here. And so restricting the age and the mileage on these vehicles that cost having to maintain a new vehicle or purchase new vehicles will be passed down to these people. So these disabled persons will be responsible for that change. In addition to that, these restrictions that you're looking at, we really need to look at emergency versus non-emergency transport. Essentially, I could get a minivan and outfit it with a stretcher capacity, and I could start transporting people. Truly, these are just people going to doctor's appointments. They're not
Time has
medically
expired.
acute or emergency. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. Others wishing to speak to an item on the agenda, please raise your hand at this time. Yes, sir?
Hello, my name is Brian Gunner. I'm from District 10, and I'll be speaking on 2608-018. So I've proudly called Louisville home since 2019. Before moving here, I grew up in Carthage, Tennessee, so I've been a Tennessean all my life, born and raised. When I consider the fact that our rural areas all over Tennessee are drying up, and to which Blount County is no exception, I'm often reminded of a moment from 1993 during the presidential inaugural parade as the Smith County High School marching band passed the presidential reviewing stand. The national news announcer introduced them by saying, "This band is from the agricultural region of Tennessee that Vice President Al Gore calls home." That description struck a chord with me because it defines our state's historical DNA. And when I chose to make Blount County my home in 2019, it was because that exact same agricultural DNA thrives here. But commissioners, that heritage is under immense, irreversible pressure. As the resolution before you rightly declares, the vast majority of our citizens desperately desire the preservation of our rural character. Yet every day we see our open spaces shrinking. When local families inherit rural property, specifically tracts of 15 acres or more, what should be proud family legacy instantly becomes crushing financial burden. These families face immediately overwhelming pressure to sell or develop the land their families worked simply to survive the inheritance strain. This is why the measures outlined in the resolution are so critical. By requesting a private act from the General Assembly, we are asking for a practical local tool to give our neighbors a fighting chance. This authority would allow Blount County to either pay the property taxes on these qualifying inherited tracts for up to 3 years or to purchase the property at fair market value when that period ends. This isn't about halting growth. It is about buying our heritage time. It provides local families with breathing room and the resources they need to figure out how to preserve their land without the looming shadow of an immediate forced sale. It ensures the long-term conservation of the very landscapes that make Blount County a magnificent place it is. I ask you to stand with your citizens tonight and express your unyielding support for the aforementioned act. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Others wishing to speak to items on the agenda, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing no further public input items on the agenda, we'll move on to item D, budget consent calendar. Chair will stand for a motion to adopt the budget consent calendar. I have a motion from Commissioner Bright, a second from Commissioner Martin. Any discussion on the budget consent calendar? Okay, if you're in favor of adopting the budget consent calendar, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion passes, and the budget consent calendar is adopted. Item E, elections, appointments, and confirmations. Madam Clerk, please read the item.
Agriculture Extension Committee, 2-year term, Commissioner David Wells as Commissioner Representative.
I have a motion to adopt or to approve the appointment of Commissioner David Wells as Commissioner Representative to the Agriculture Extension Committee from Commissioner French, second from Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of approving that appointment, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 16 yes votes and 1 abstention.
16 yes, 1 abstention. The motion carries, and that appointment is made. There is no unfinished business. Item G, new business. Madam Clerk, please read the first item.
Resolution number 268020, a resolution designating the 1907 Blount County Courthouse Annex as the Gay Hasty Annex.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 268020 from Commissioner Giles, second from Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 268020, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion carries, and resolution number 268020 is adopted.
Resolution number 268001, budget increase public safety projects, $49,895. Appropriate capital funds to construct a partially enclosed building to store BCSO vehicles, included in the fiscal year 26-27 capital plan. Forwarded to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee 5-0.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 268001 from Commissioner Caldwell, second from Commissioner Akerd. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 268001, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Vote yes.
Just vote yes for me.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion carries, and resolution number 268001 is adopted.
Resolution number 268004, budget reappropriation, highway capital, $1,234,478.54. Reappropriate funds from prior year to support ongoing capital projects. Forwarded to full commission with a favorable recommendation by the Budget Committee 5-0.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 268004 from Commissioner Carver, second by Commissioner French. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 268004, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 17 yes votes.
17 yes, the motion carries, and resolution number 268004 is adopted.
Resolution number 268012, a resolution adopting compensation for the Blount County Election Commission members.
I have a motion from Commissioner French, second from Commissioner Webb, to adopt resolution number 26808012. Any discussion? Commissioner Michaels, you're recognized for the first time on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Chairman. There wasn't much discussion about this last week, and there's seems to be none this week. Election Commission. I don't really understand why we're doing this. Every time we turn around, we're battling this battle to preserve community over and over and over. We're buying new machines every 2 or 3 years. So it seems like we're just, spending money. Always have. We're constantly getting hit by things that they're coming up with, wanting these voting centers. I'm not real sure why we're increasing their compensation. I'm not saying it doesn't take time, but we've increased we have increased the employees of the election commission, like when they have elections and they have to hire help. I know that we have increased that probably in the last 3 years. I don't know exactly what year that was that we did that, but, you know, I understand that they meet monthly, but there is a sense to me of civic duty that would come with that position. And I don't know that they're dealing with things daily or multiple things daily that like a commissioner would. I'm sure that there's things that roll down that, you know, change, and they have to implement those things and work for it. And I'm not taking away from the work that they do. I just don't know that we should be making this an extremely well-paid position. We have upgraded the compensation of the county commission, but that's because that hadn't been addressed in over 20 years. And there's a lot to this job, and I still don't know that, you know, where we got the pay to or the compensation to is going to be what it's worth. But obviously, we made those changes, and they were welcomed by most everybody. I haven't talked to many people at all that wouldn't agree that Yauch County Commission, our legislative body, probably needed a raise. I just don't necessarily see why this is, I mean, this is more to me a civic duty position. And, you know, a lot of the people on there are retired or doing all right. So, not to take away from anything of what they do, but I don't know that it needs to jump to almost, you know, I mean, if you started doing per meeting, I mean, is there anybody else that's got any thoughts on this? I'd really like to hear what Commissioner Carver has to say about it, but I encourage debate. Thank you.
Commissioner Carver, you have the floor.
So this did go through for the 26-27 budget, and we approved the election commission there what it was, what they asked for. Is that
Do you
correct?
mean their budget or this request?
The budget. Doesn't that include what they're paid?
Mr. Baldwin, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, the annual budget includes their current pay. It did not consider this new
increase
amount.
of what they were currently being paid.
Correct.
Okay. So, but we just passed that in July. So, and now we're 1 month into the budget and we're wanting to increase it. It's just something to think about. And why they didn't bring it forth before the budget. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Reagan, you're recognized for the first time on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a couple of questions, and I don't know if it needs to be to the sponsors of the resolution, but was this a request from Mo Click, or was this a request of just the resolution sponsors? Does anybody know?
Mr. Click, are you present? If you're willing, please come forward.
I'm willing, and thank you. The answer to that is it's of the commissioners. But I want to, resolution aside, Mr. Michaels, with all due respect, almost 100% of the things that you said about the election commission in our work was wrong, and maybe 100%.
Mr. Click,
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, we're on Commissioner Reagan's time, and she can ask you to elaborate on it if she wishes.
My apologies for
Thank you.
that outburst.
So did you request this of these commissioners?
The request this is from the election commission members. My part of this was to ask to bring this in line with what the TCA, the method of payment, that's kind of the guidelines or best practices from TCA. So this has been brought into that to line up with TCA.
Okay. How many election commissioners are there?
5.
5. So approximately what would that total be if we increased that amount of money?
The total, you're going from a monthly salary to a per meeting, as long as it's above a certain amount of time. So for example, in an off-election year, it's just the 12 monthly meetings, unless you have a special election. So let me give you an example of what happened for this August election. What are the requirements? Number one is the monthly election commission meetings. The election day would be part of this. The audit that we performed last Friday, which was 0 variance from our election results, just an aside. That's another meeting. If, for example, our ballot approval doesn't line up, which a lot of times it does, but with the ballot approval and the deadlines doesn't line up, it causes another meeting. And with, for example, in the August election, with over 160 ballot styles that you could get when you come in to vote in Blount County, that's not a 5-minute proofread, So those are the things. So it adds during an election year an extra 2, maybe 3 meetings for the year.
So why now? Why did we not do this before budget for this year? Is this something new that has just been brought to your attention, or is it something that's been down the pike? I'm just curious. I just need some questions.
Yeah, I really can't. I really can't answer that.
Okay, I understand. I do understand. And another question, and this is not necessarily for you, Mo. Thank you for your time and your answers.
Thank you, Mr. Click. We'll call you back if we need you. Okay. So Don, say first.
I'm just curious why we did. It's kind of like last week when we started talking about the raise for all the county employees. Why it wasn't put in front of the budget committee first to pass budget committee and then to us. That doesn't have anything to do with Mo. I'm just curious why we're in August of 2026, why we're changing things from what we've done the past 8 years. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We will have Commissioner Bright next. For the
Thank you,
first
Mr.
time.
Chairman. Can someone confirm for me what the current pay is?
You want that the mayor's office or Mr. Baldwin? Can you answer that for us?
It's $405 a month. It's the same that the commission used to be.
That's what I thought it was. So I'd like to offer an amendment, keeping the pay rate the same, only difference being in this resolution, rather than pay per meeting, pay per month. So it would be $800 a month, $1,000 a month for the chairman, rather than per meeting.
All right, there's a motion from Commissioner Bright to amend it to per month instead of per meeting. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner French. We are now debating the amendment. Those wishing to speak to the amendment, Commissioner Michaels, are you on the amendment or on the main motion? Commissioner Akert on the main motion or the amendment? Can you tell me if you're, Commissioner Akert, are you on the amendment? Are you on the amendment? All right, Commissioner Akert on the amendment for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm glad that the amendment is before us, because as I was reading what was printed, the members could be paid very significantly from this, because as it's printed now, it's based on the meetings that they attend, and it includes commission meetings, election day meetings, oversight, election audits as required by state statutes. So we could be paying several $1,000s in a month's time for every meeting that they attend. So we definitely need to reword this as this has been presented. If we're going to pass something, we need to make this adjustment, because that, as printed, it's absurd. And so I'm very strongly in favor of the amendment to be per month, period.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wells on the amendment for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question, but before I ask it, my question will be for Mr. Click in a moment. But if the math is correct, I think the current math would say that there's 5. We said there's 5 commissioners, and the monthly rate at $400 a month. I know $5, add that in, but rounding down just a slightly puts it at $24,000 a year. If we were to take this proposal and say they just added 3 additional meetings to their calendar in addition to their monthly meetings, and they attended all those meetings and they got paid for all those things, that bumps it to like $60,000 if I'm doing my math correctly under the current plan, assuming it's just 3 extra, which I don't know if it'd be 3 extra or 10 extra, I don't know. But the current proposal that we have to amend it takes it from $24,000 a year to $48,000 a year for 5, again, assuming that we just pay out monthly like we normally do. So I think my math's right, just saying that out loud in case somebody looks at me funny and says my math's wrong. But my question is related to something that was mentioned regarding TCA. So can I ask Mr. Click?
Yeah, Mr. Click, will you come forward again?
Thanks, Mr. Click. First of all, thanks for running a very smooth election for us. Appreciate all the help you provided to us, which is tremendous, and the committee as well. I want them to know we appreciate them. The question, though, is the TCA, and you mentioned that this request coming from the commission, but to get in line with, you mentioned a moment ago, get in line with TCA and what the desirable method of payment is, and I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, which is just a per meeting method of payment instead of a monthly salary.
Specific for election commissions?
Specific to election commission, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know why that would be a more preferred method? I mean, is it just, I'm just curious.
Again, the monthly salary is it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not outside of the TCA, but it's like I said, just trying to line up with the per meeting.
Putting you on the spot.
Per meeting guidelines, yeah.
Putting you on the spot with this question, but are you having problems with your meeting attendance from your commissioners?
I would, it's I mean, they're my bosses, but I kind of like the idea if you show up, you get paid, yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I guess
And the question was problem, so no. The answer to that question is no, but, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, are you getting good enough attendance from your commissioners to make good decisions? You're not having?
No, there is no issue there.
Okay, so this is
No,
not something.
that's not part of this.
It's not something to try to be a carrot to get something to happen that's not
Yeah,
happening.
and again, that lines up with the TCA guidelines.
Okay. All right. That helps. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate you for that clarification. And I do think the monthly rate in this particular case makes more sense to me as well, just in that fact that it removes any obscurity or wondering about how many meetings there's going to be and all the different things. So I appreciate the amendment.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Michaels on the amendment for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Obviously, I kind of have the same question that Commissioner Reagan did when it comes to where did this come from? And so I look back at the sponsor commissioners, and I've got Scott King and Commissioner Robbie Bennett. So Mr. King is absent. But I'd like to hear from Robbie Bennett, Commissioner Bennett, why he felt like this needed to be addressed 1 month after we just passed our.
Commissioner, are you on the amendment?
I am. We wouldn't have an amendment if we didn't have this, correct?
Keep it on the amendment, please, Commissioner.
Yeah, you're eating my time, hurry.
We can't ask other commissioners questions, we've not done that, so you can chime in if you want to. Commissioner Michaels, you still have the floor.
Is he gonna answer it?
He can push his button and speak next if he wants to, but we're on the amendment right now.
Well, he can answer it in a minute. So that's an issue, but also, I mean, this was just an open-ended, you know, I mean, if I was on this commission, I'd be like, when we meeting again? Oh, well, we're meeting 3 times next week. Okay, well, you know, I'm going to get paid like this for that. I would also like to say that I didn't mean for Mr. Click to get upset, and this doesn't.
Commissioner, on the amendment.
Okay. Do we need a 100% increase? I would like for Mr. Click to talk about the things that. Is there any way he could come back to the podium?
Mr. Click, would you come forward for a question on the amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Click. How often did you say in non-election years you're going to meet once a month, right?
Odd number of years, unless there's a special election, it's the monthly meeting.
And those are public meetings?
Those are public meetings.
And how long do those meetings usually last?
Those meetings can last anywhere hour to an hour and a half in an off-election year, and actually an hour and a half would be a long meeting, so hour and a half during a non-election year.
Okay. And so I don't know, and I'm going somewhere with this. So you may recall during this last election, I called the office up there and I said, can you tell me why Prospect Annex is not open? And you said, well, we typically don't have that many people come out that first week to vote, or whatever it was, the first week of early voting. And yes, Prospect Annex is in my district. You answered the question, we got off the phone. That didn't mean I liked it. I don't. are we working towards making it easier for people to vote, whether we feel like it's garnering enough for us to put an effort into it or not. If we've had precincts for years.
Did I hear a point of order? Yes. Please state the point of order, Commissioner.
We were specifically be talking about the resolution of changing the compensation from a per meeting.
Will you hit your button, Mr. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe the discussion had to do around with an amendment to the resolution that was taking the compensation from a per meeting level to a per monthly level. And I thought that was what this amendment was about. And I'm not really clear on where this line of question is taking that in regards to that particular issue.
All right. Commissioner, will you respond to that before I rule on the point of order? Are you heading in a direction on the amendment to change it to per?
No, I apologize. I'll redirect. So let me just be direct. Mo, I'm done. This is hideous that we're talking about this a month after a budget. And the only reason we're talking about it is because they want to get it passed by this commission, because they know the next commission, they're going to have trouble getting it passed because it's ridiculous. I'm not against a pay raise.
All right. Commissioners.
Predict what the next commission is going to do. I'm sorry.
I didn't.
How he can't predict it.
All right, Commissioners. I'm going to rule that point of order not well taken, but Commissioner, we are on the amendment only, and you still have another time to speak on the adoption of the on the adoption of the resolution after the amendment is dealt with.
I believe everybody gets my point.
Thank you, Commissioner. On the amendment, Commissioner Bennett, are you on the amendment? Well, the question wasn't really on the amendment, so let's save that for next. Commissioner Hannah, are you on the amendment?
The amendment.
Go ahead, Commissioner. We'll see.
I just, I want to say first, I do appreciate Mo. I think he goes above and beyond. This is not a reflection of him whatsoever. But I just looked up TCA, and according to what they're saying, we're already currently paying them more than all of our surrounding counties. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do something, but I think this should go back to the budget, just like the last week, and we look at this before we make a decision on something, because right now, we're currently paying them more than our surrounding counties are getting paid for that position. Yes, that's an amendment.
Oh, you're making a motion, Commissioner, to...
I'd like to make a motion to send this back to budget.
All right, Commissioner Hannah makes a motion to refer this to the Budget Committee. Seconded by Commissioner Michaels. That takes precedence over an amendment. So now we are on a motion to refer to the Budget Committee. Those wishing to speak to the motion to refer only to the Budget Committee, please hit your button. Seeing none, if you're in favor of referring this to the Budget Committee, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 14 yes votes and 2 no votes.
14 yes, 2 no votes. That motion carries, so that item and its amendment will be referred to the Budget Committee for further consideration.
Let me see who voted, who didn't vote.
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't get you. Okay, so that 15 yes votes and 2 no votes.
All right, 15 yes, 2 no votes. That motion carries, and it will be referred to the Budget Committee for further consideration. Commissioner Bennett, for what purpose?
I was going to answer his question.
You've got until I hit this pristine gavel on that there block, so.
I was asked to sponsor this resolution. Like like I said, it got discussion out here. We made some amendments. When we did our raise, it did not go through the budget committee, and it was well after the budget. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Thank you.
Yeah, that's out of order, Commissioner. All right. Madam Clerk, please read the next item.
Resolution number 268013, a resolution to dedicate ARPA utility assets back to Knox Chapman Utility District.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 26808013 from Commissioner Reagan, second from Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? Commissioner Michaels, I have you first on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we could combine without objection 5, 6, 7, and 8.
All right, we've got a motion to combine 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Trying to get out of here. Got some more.
Any objection to voting on those as one? All right, hearing no objection, they will be combined. Madam Clerk, please read those for the record.
Resolution number 268034, a resolution to dedicate ARPA utility assets back to City of Friendsville Utility District. Resolution number 268035, a resolution to dedicate ARPA utility assets back to South Blount County Utility District. Resolution number 268036, a resolution to dedicate ARPA utility assets back to Tuckaleechee Utility District.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have a motion to adopt resolutions 2608-013, 2608-034, 2608-035, 2608-036 from Commissioner Reagan, seconded by Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? You'll recognize Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chair, if you don't mind, this is a pretty big deal, and I don't, not that I don't think it can't be put together and voted on. I just want to make sure we don't lose what we got done right here, because this was about $48 million worth of infrastructure upgrades that we did over the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And one of them, I mean, when the upgrades at Knox Chapman, the upgrades that we were able to do with Friendsville and South Blount, I mean, I know we've got Quentin here. There's huge infrastructure upgrades that were done, and to me, the one that I really want to say that this is included in this, we got a second water line to Townsend, to the Tuckaleechee Valley. Before, there was one water line that went up the old road. It was an old 6-inch line that went up the old road, put in the early 60s. 2 times since I've been mayor, we've had rock slides that kicked out the bank there. It never did sever that water line, but if it had ever had, I think the last rock slide, it took the highway department, and Jeff and I talked about this, it was 45 days before they ever got down to just to the road. So that would have been 45 days at the Tuckaleechee Valley. If that had severed that water line, potentially could have been without water. That's unheard of, and to me it was scary. But we are getting ready. The water is being turned on, so we do have a second water line going to Townsend. There's new water pumps. This lets Knox Chapman and South Blount. It gives you another source for water. I mean, it interconnects our water systems to where you're not just waiting on one source. If that goes out, you lose your water. It gives you multiple sources. You can open valves and do multiple water lines to where you don't have, in drought conditions or in any other kind of condition where one line fails, you have this opportunity where you can not be without water. It's a $48 million project that, and I want to say it was handled in-house. We did not go outside. We handled this, all of these funds in-house. Our finance department and accounting department did an outstanding job working with TDOT, TDEC, with South Blount, with the utility companies, and I just don't want it to go unnoticed. When you talk about huge infrastructure upgrades, this was probably one of the biggest projects, single biggest projects that we've done in Blount County in a long time, and it was all ARPA money. This was not local tax dollars. We went and got grants on all of this for $48 million. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for that reminder and explanation. And these are going to be assets that our community is going to be using for a long time. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting these resolutions, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 16 yes votes and 1 abstention.
16 yes and 1 abstention. The motion carries, and resolutions 2608-013, 2608-034, 2608-035, and 2608-036 are adopted.
Resolution number 268014, a resolution establishing the 2027 medical plan funding rates for the self-insured health plan of Blount County, Tennessee.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2608-014 from Commissioner Carver, second from Commissioner Reagan. Have discussion from Commissioner Bennett.
Yes, I have to abstain from the next two since it affects my salary and my insurance benefits.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. We will note that. Commissioner Martin.
I must also abstain due to conflict of interest.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Martin. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 2608-014, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 15 yes votes and 2 abstentions.
15 yes, 2 abstain. The motion carries, and resolution number 2608-014 is adopted.
Resolution number 268015, a resolution establishing the 2027 dental plan funding rates for the self-funded dental plan of Blount County, Tennessee.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2608-015 from Commissioner Carver, second by Commissioner Giles. Commissioner Martin, you recognized.
I must abstain from this as well due to conflict of interest.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll note yours and Commissioner Bennett's abstentions. Go ahead and say that again on the microphone, Commissioner.
I have to abstain due to conflict of interest.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 2608-015, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 14 yes votes and 3 abstentions.
14 yes, 3 abstain. The motion carries, and resolution number 268015 is adopted.
Resolution number 268016, a resolution approving the Blount County, Tennessee Employee Handbook.
I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2608-016 from Commissioner Reagan, second from Commissioner Carver. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of adopting resolution number 2016, vote yes. If you're in favor, vote no.
There are 7 yes votes.
17 yes. The motion carries, and resolution 2616 is
Resolution number 680, motion to provision of service county.
stand for to adopt resolution number 2608. The motion branch, Commissioners, your records on the motion to adopt.
This resolution, I don't mind, like the Second Amendment added to that resolution.
All right, thank you.
And I'll second that Second Amendment.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bright, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So prior to the meeting, I had left an amendment laying at each one of y'all's sections here, and I would like to add that in section 4 and create a new item number, an item letter N. And if the clerk would, could she read that into them, read that for the members, please? Or Mr. Chairman?
Okay. In addition to the requirements outlined above, any service provider that is already lawfully operating within Blount County at the time this ordinance takes effect shall be permitted to continue operating, provided that the service provider continues to meet all required inspections and applicable safety requirements. Existing service providers shall not be required to replace vehicles solely for the purpose of meeting the vehicle age or mileage requirements of this ordinance. However, any vehicle added to or replacing a vehicle in the provider's fleet after the effective date of this ordinance shall be required to meet the vehicle age and mileage requirements established herein. No existing service provider shall be permitted to add, acquire, or place into service an older vehicle that does not meet the requirements as part of its fleet moving forward. All other requirements of the ordinance shall remain in full force and effect.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. I will label this as amendment number 1, proposed amendment number 1. Motion made by Commissioner Bright to adopt, seconded by Commissioner French. Discussion on amendment number 1. Commissioner Wells, you recognized for the first time on amendment number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate the amendment. I do believe, even with this amendment, the idea that we're not going to exclude someone that's currently providing services, I appreciate not singling them out and allowing them to be able to continue their services they're providing. But this goes way beyond the current. So what we do now is going to affect what's done in the near future and ongoing. So I think it's a concern that Commissioner-elect Satterfield shared earlier. I think it also concerns me, and I think that we have willing and able service providers that are providing things that ambulatory that wouldn't require this type of commitment, and I think that they are already being held to the standards that are being expected for the services that they need to be provided for. But we have a group of people, a large group of people who need this type of non-emergent transportation. And even with this amendment, it still just covers the immediate. And it also actually says whenever their current fleet is needing to be replaced, then those new replacements now have to adhere to these guidelines that we have written. And I think there's some unintended consequences, quite frankly, that I don't know exactly how that's going to play out with this particular change in general. So to that end, I really believe that there's much more to understand related to this particular resolution, even with the amendment being added to it, to the degree that I don't want to ignore it. I think there's a reason for bringing it up. I don't know all those reasons, but to that end, because I don't want to have unintended consequences on this, because this is a pretty big deal for our county in terms of offering these services. It's no small deal. I would make a motion to postpone this for 2 months to give our next commissioner an opportunity to step in.
I'll second that.
All right, Commissioner Wells makes a motion to postpone. Commissioner Bright seconds the motion to postpone. We are on the motion to postpone. Speakers, Commissioner Akert on the motion to postpone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm definitely in favor of postponing this, and it would be my hope that the future consideration would basically eliminate the entire last paragraph of the addition that we just made because of the significant added expense of down the road that anyway, I'm definitely in favor of it being discussed further before we vote on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner French on the motion to postpone for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we can handle this without postponing it. All we need to do is eliminate the restrictions on newly acquired vehicles, especially if it's a non-emergency trip. Non-emergency trips are like driving every day from here to work or wherever. There's not that much wear and tear on a vehicle that's running a non-emergency trip. Emergency trips, yes, they are. There's wear and tear on them because they're most of the time going lickety-split to get to the person that's in danger. We can eliminate the requirements, the 10-year, if you buy a new vehicle, the 10 years requirement, and the 250,000 miles requirement for newly acquired vehicles. I've served on a volunteer fire department board for 32 years. And if we had to restrict our non-emergency vehicles to mileage, we'd be buying vehicles probably every 2 or 3 years, which a volunteer fire department can't afford, because we depend on donations. So I think if we eliminate that restriction on newly acquired vehicles and use this second paragraph, that as long as they meet safety requirements, that they ought to be able to run until you run the tires off of them. Because they will run more, and they're building these vehicles now. They're building these vehicles to last 350 and 400,000 miles for non-emergency transport is what I'm talking about, not emergency. So I think if we can eliminate the need to postpone by adding that amendment to the amendment and moving it forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Michaels, you recognized on the motion to postpone for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I again, and this is great, agree with Ron French. And so, I have a real problem with putting additional or added criteria on service providers in our county that would eliminate service or take benefits away from him in our citizenry over some legalities on non-emergency vehicles. We live in America, and obviously he's built a business, and I don't think we need to be implementing any kind of, so I also agree. I would go to the extent, can he come up here and answer some questions? Mr. Callhorn, Mr. Chair?
We're on the motion to postpone. So
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. My gavel's looking real pristine, Steve.
That's all right. You can use
I
it.
need to make it another few minutes, so.
Okay.
Come on, sir. Keep it in the context of motion to postpone and or not.
All right. So you stated when you made your statements earlier, you stated that all your vehicles fall within state guidelines, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so what is this ordinance here? Where did this come from, and how does this affect you moving forward if this is passed?
So perception is reality. We'll start there. And I didn't know about this resolution until somebody brought it to my attention. So where it came from, I don't know. What I can assume is I don't belong here, and my competitors don't like that. Because
Sure.
I started a non-emergency transport business. It's called NEMT. That is for wheelchair vans and invalid transports, convalescent transports. I go big or go home, and I found out I made an I created an ambulance service. So the state of Tennessee says you don't fit the mold for anything. You fit the mold as a private ambulance ground service. Here's the requirements. We don't care what kind of truck you're getting. because it's not going into the emergency side. I'm not after emergency services, and by definition, I'm not under emergency services. So the next step is we have to go through a process of having inventory, having equipment right, making sure that I didn't just take it to any mechanic. It has to be a current ASE certified mechanic. Something I learned, not every mechanic stays ASE certified. It's hard to find somebody that does that. It's not enough to go, yes, I am an ASE certified mechanic. It is, where's your certification? And is it up to date? That has to be turned into the state. So to move forward, I have to have it inspected. It has to be by this specific certified inspector. The next step is, if the trucks are older than 10 years, or they have more than 250,000 miles on them, the state puts in a mandate. I have to have these trucks inspected every 30,000 miles, or at least once a year. Again, all the certifications have to go to the state, so I can't just pull it out of my pocket and go, yeah, we're fine. No, they verify everything. The process in, how do we know the miles are true? Every 72 hours, whether a truck is in service or not, it has to be checked off. And the first thing on every checkoff sheet is your mileage. So that way, the state can come in at any time and audit. There is a state inspector. He's the one that handed me my license. He's also the one that can come find me anywhere at any time and inspect my books, inspect my vehicle, and inspect my employees. So it's not just one and done. The process is you turn in your initial application. The next step is you get inspected, you get licensed. 90 days later, you're getting audited. After that, it's every single year. It's not like with trucking and transportation where DOT comes in one time, they do an audit, and then you're done. With the Tennessee Department of Health, it's annually. You have to be audited. And so our books have to be open. That's how this process works. I am open to the Tennessee Department of Health that can come in at any time. As you all met my medical director, I have to have clear and constant communication with him. Anybody can file a complaint, and that's one of his concerns. Do we have any complaints? No. If there is a complaint, the inspector from the state will be knocking on your door quickly.
So what you're telling me is, let me inject here,
Yes,
for time concerns. What you're telling me is you're extremely regulated by the state already.
Absolutely.
And these added criteria in this ordinance would smother you out of business. Have you ever had a truck or a van go down while you're in progress of a call, a non-emergency call?
Yes, we did have a instance where we had a fuel filter go down, and here's the way that this works. We're going on a run. We have to do the truck checkoff. Everything was fine. We started to take off. There's an issue. We immediately have to flag that, put that into our platform, because we have to have a platform where we put the truck checkoffs. We have our PCRs. Again, all this is heavily regulated, and it is sent to the state in Nashville for records. So we have to flag. We had a breakdown. I can use that for however long the truck is down. Again, every 3 days we have to do, minimum every 3 days, we have to do a truck checkoff. We found that it was a fuel filter. It was fixed. The truck was not put out of service for more than 2 days.
But what I'm saying is, was it in the act of a service that you provide during, and it went down?
Did I have a neighbor with me? No. No. But that was the only time that we've had any issues out of any of the vehicles in,
okay,
beyond what we've had our license.
So, I'm not even really sure. I just don't even know why we're talking about this. I would like to hear specifically from Mike Kaler or Ron French why this was brought to the floor as a resolution. I know it's not on the amendment, but if they get a
Motion to postpone. All right, Commissioner Kaler, on the motion to postpone, you're recognized.
No, I'm going to pull a Robbie Bennett. I want to answer his question.
I know you will.
No, I'm saying, if we're going to postpone it, it's irrelevant to what I have to say, so I don't have a comment at this time.
All right. No more speakers. Commissioners, if you're in favor of the motion to postpone, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is to postpone it 2 months. I think you said 2 months. All right.
Did you say yes? Mr. Chairman, there are 15 yes votes and 2 abstentions.
15 yes.
I'm sorry, 2 noes.
15 yes, 2 no. The motion carries. That resolution will be postponed. Madam Clerk, please read the next item.
Resolution number 268018, a resolution encouraging the Tennessee General Assembly to enact a private act authorizing Blount County to implement measures to preserve farmland and rural property.
I have a motion from Commissioner Bright, second from Commissioner Giles to adopt resolution number 26808018. Commissioner Bowers, you're recognized for the first time on the motion to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When I introduced this last week, I called it a caption bill. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to kind of gut this thing and amend it. I'd like to amend this motion, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Commissioner, and state the amendment.
Everybody should have a copy of the amendment in front of them. I hope you've had a chance to look through it, or will look through it here. But basically, you can see your resolution on your screen there from last week, 018.
All right, Commissioner Bowers moves the amendment. I'll call this amendment number 1. It's been submitted. Is there a second on the motion to amend?
You want me to tell you about it first?
I got a second from Commissioner Hanna, so you're recognized first on the motion to amend. This will be your
Well,
speaking time.
I just want to explain it right below the first paragraph of the resolution encouraging. It starts with, all those whereases will be struck and inserted with the whereases in the resolution, in the amendment. And below the now therefore, we will strike that and insert the amended words there. We did need to strike that purchase part because I don't think we would have to do that as a private act anyway. But basically, Jeff Jopling, my co-commissioner, wrote most of this amendment, or the biggest part of it, but it embodies what I wanted this resolution to do. And I appreciate the gentleman getting up here and speaking in favor of it. It'll still do just exactly what you were talking about it doing. And with that, I'll let somebody else speak to it.
All right, so Commissioner, just so we're clear, this is, what's sitting here is being substituted for this is the final resolution version of the amendment. All right. Commissioner Joplin, I'm going to recognize you next on as a sponsor. Go ahead on the motion to amend.
Did you say me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Brad had this idea to do this resolution, and I felt very strongly about it, and I pinned a lot of this new language in here. But basically, the idea is to allow people time. When someone passes away and someone inherits property, oftentimes they're left with the need to sell the property because they can't afford the taxes, or there's all kinds of issues. But this allows people time, and it also incentivizes keeping the property as agriculture in nature. So not only are they able to have time to think about what to do to not be pressured into having to sell it to a developer. It also gives them incentives, and it de-incentivizes development. So, hopefully everybody gets a chance to look at this and, decide what they think. But this makes a lot of sense to me, and several commissioners here have had a chance to look at it, and I know that they'll probably weigh in on their opinions too. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Giles on the motion to amend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As a commissioner that did not vote last week to pass this along, I had some concerns about financial obligations to Blount County residents. And after reading the new amendment to this and having a conversation with our Blount County CFO, saying that he was going to do his best to put together some sort of estimate as how this might impact Blount County residents. Although the scope of this has changed dramatically from last week, there still are some financial consequences that could be realized, and you probably haven't had time to come up with those numbers at this point, or have you? Can I inquire of the financial?
Mr. Baldwin.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, it's very difficult to put this in context. I did have a conversation with our property assessor. What we do have, the amounts on the agriculture, on the assessment data, what those values are where they're at on the books, and how much property tax that brings in. The variable that I don't know that any of us would know is what percentage of people may or may not be in a green belt,
yes,
and then what percentage of those may or may not have this circumstance arise. So the best I could do was say worst case scenario. If everybody took you up on this all at the same time, the property tax amount is about 2.3 million, the equivalent of about 3 pennies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that information. I know we need to make educated decisions, and that will help, I hope, several people make that decision. In terms of the document itself, I had the opportunity to participate in some of the minor changes that I suggested, but if you have not had the opportunity or taken the opportunity to have read through this line item by line item, I strongly suggest that you do that. It is extremely well written, very articulate, and a lot of work has gone into this, and I know both commissioners sponsored this, but I think Commissioner Joplin was responsible for the majority of this, and quite candidly, in the 4 years that I've been on commission, possibly, if not one of the best resolutions or amendments that I've read, and I applaud you for that. It's obvious that you put a whole lot of effort, hard work into that, and this is exactly the type of thing that I can now get behind and support 100%. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wells, for the first time on the motion to amend.
Thank you, and I also appreciate the amendment and spent some time reading through, and the movement to deferral I think is a good move to defer. But thinking about this I'll go to this the end first. So my sticking point, and I'll go even further to the end. I'll not be in opposition. So hear that first. But I do have a sticking point that I think as it moves around and potentially is addressed at some point by another body. The deferral, I'm fully support that idea that if a taxation puts too much pressure and creates a situation where the property would potentially be vulnerable to having to be liquidated, I understand the deferral process. My sticking point, though, is in here, it also says after a 3-year period of that deferral, those tax assessments would be forgiven. And that's where I have an issue, because then that particularly puts taxpayers against other people and creates a sticky situation where you forgive you forgive those taxes, why aren't you forgiving these other taxes? I can understand that's not assessing a penalty or a rollback or those kind of things, but to just forgive the taxes, I think creates a bit of a sticky wicket that I have a little bit of a problem with. But again, under the circumstances and the way that you're promoting this bill from a private act perspective, I wouldn't not move it along. Even with that, issue. But I did do a lot of, it took me a while to do my math work, but I tried to do not that math work that Mr. Baldwin was doing, but just looking around at what this might entail. And so I wanted to look at a property that was, say, right at 100 acres, so we could kind of at least have an example of what might be a real example within the county that this could happen with. So I appreciate the getting this example here. So in this particular case, I mean, just, is the juice worth the squeeze? You know, in some cases, is it worth the effort? And because I want something like this, if we're going to ask the legislature to get involved, to pass a private act, you know, we would want it to move forward, right? We wouldn't do this just to spit in the air. So that being the case, you'd want it to make it as appealable as possible. And that's my point in bringing this up, not to be in just obstinate or anything like that. But this particular case, we're talking about a 100-acre farm that is in the Greenbelt, that has applied for the Greenbelt designation. This particular resolution, by the way, just refers to agricultural, and I think it just needs to be Greenbelt, because that means you got the forest and open land and all that to be included. I think that is something else that needs to be addressed. But a 100-acre example here that has land improvements and a home on that, and understand from talking to Mr. Orr that on any Greenbelt designated property, 1 acre is pulled out for the dwelling, regardless of the size, and pulled out for that one piece. And so the assessment on the improvement on that is at market rate for that dwelling and that 1 acre, and the rest of the parcel is treated based upon its soil makeup across the piece of property, right? So, I mean, it's complicated. It's not very clear, so you got to go through a lot of detail. But this particular example is a 100-acre farm, and the designations would say its Greenbelt appraisal, its land value, I should say, would be $1.5 million, and the improvements on that would also be around $600,000. So the total appraisal would put it about $2.1 million for that. But with the Greenbelt applied to all of that, the value moves from $2.1 million to $929,000. So it reduces it considerably. In fact, just on the land value, the worst case scenario, just on land, not on improvements or on buildings, it's a minimum of a 70% discount on property tax. So what I'm saying is we have some fairly significant and good incentives across our state to incentivize these type of properties to begin with, and I think that's a great thing, and we want to continue to see that. And I know there's other acts like the Farmland Preservation Act that gives the conservation easements and all those other things as possibilities, but this particular amendment, to me, we're looking at this, I should go back to my example, the Greenbelt at $929,000 assessment after the discount, you know, that puts the tax on that property right at $3,000. Right at $3,000 for property tax. Now, again, 100-acre farm, there's smaller ones and bigger ones. You have to have 15 acres to get in here. I would hate to see a farm from a family that inherited it not move forward for $3,000. You know, and in this particular assessment that I'm talking about, a real example here, and I'm not trying to lump everybody under one example, but I was trying to take one thing and look at it. This particular act is very specific, and I want the amenders and the sponsors and the people here to make it something that is, I mean, I'm concerned about it being just Blount County only, because will our state people approve it just a Blount County only private act just to do this for us? I'm concerned that they might look at it from a, hey, this is very specific to where it only applies to inherited property. and right now only to agricultural inherited property. And it is the Greenbelt specifically, of course, has to be Greenbelt qualified. And again, like I said, specifically agricultural. So I think it's got some things within it that are going to be problematic for our state legislatures to do anything besides just say no and move on. So that's my concern, and that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner French for the first
Chairman,
on the motion to adopt.
Under the now therefore portion, item number 7, I have a question. It says a transfer to another qualifying agricultural owner who continues the agricultural use of the property shall not trigger repayment of the deferred taxes. So, or I believe it's stated in there previously too, if it's sold to another agricultural farmer and he keeps it in the agricultural district, that this deferment continues to him. However, he is capable of paying the taxes. He's a farmer, he's got a good farm, it's thriving. He buys this piece of property, he's got the money to pay the taxes, so, but you're still deferring those taxes because it's agricultural. And I don't understand that. If he's paying taxes on his farm, he can afford to pay taxes on this farm, right. Why would it continue deferment to him? I think that's not being fair to the county, for one thing. Now, if it stays in the family and the family is struggling, yes, I don't have an issue with that. But I don't see deferring those payments to someone that can afford to pay the taxes. That concerns me.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Joplin, you're recognized for the second time on the motion to amend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To answer that question, I would refer to most farmers that while they can afford maybe to do that, I don't know a ton of farmers that are like thriving in 2026 in Blount County. I mean, they're hanging on to their land, but it doesn't mean they're thriving. The idea is to incentivize not selling it to a developer. So, you know, it goes with the land. It does not have to be just the person that owns it or that inherited it. It's to incentivize whoever owns the land to not develop it. That is the entire point of it. Secondly, I had a question of Mr. Baldwin, if that would be okay.
Yep, Mr. Baldwin.
Can you say the numbers that you had one more time?
Yeah, Commissioner, what I pulled was the assessment summary. My data is a couple months old. It's the data we use for the budget, so I just pulled that back out. We had agriculture on the books at a total assessment of I'm going to round 184 million, but you apply our tax rate to that, and it comes out to about 2.3 million.
And so that's if everyone that owned Greenbelt property died at the same time.
That's right.
And then
that's right.
Okay.
Well, because what other context do you have?
No,
you don't know if it's going to be 1%, or 10%, but
well,
that at least gives you a number to start from.
Sure, and that was sort of in my research and looking at this. It looks like this is really quite a revenue neutral maneuver by the county, because so long as land is kept agricultural and kept rural, it's not adding to the, it's not adding to the tax roll, but it's not adding to the burden of new students in school, needing to widen roads, doing that sort of stuff. So by the time all of it is said and done, it's 3 pennies if everyone that owned agricultural property died at the same time and everyone inherited at the same time. So it's almost a revenue neutral move to give people the time and the ability to decide what they're going to do with inherited agricultural property. But to David Wells's point, a very good point, talking about also property there's lots of parcels of property that might be forest that's not included in this. So Brad and I both want this to be something that everyone talks about, discusses. This can be something that grows and gets better. I would hope that the state legislature would look at this and say, hey, this is a good idea. Let's make this better than just what Jeff Jopling, some random county commissioner in Blount County, came up with. So, the idea is that it would get better. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Michaels for the first time on the motion to amend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'd like to say that I appreciate everybody's effort on this. My fear is that it's nowhere close to where it needs to be passed tonight, to sent to a state legislature to carry to Nashville to work on and try to move into the legislative body. It's not polished enough. I think what needs to happen is this needs to be probably postponed to next month, and it needs to be treated as such until it is polished to the point that, and I think that the sponsors that are, Commissioner Bowers starting this with Jeff, and I think that they will stay in contact with the ones that are leaving here to continue to mold and shape this the way. There's a lot of holes in it. As Commissioner Wells presented, I hate to do this, but I agree with him too tonight on this matter. That's 2. That's a first. What?
Do you have a favor?
No. Thought you said I had a booger.
We're agreeing with everybody.
I do think that it's not anywhere near completion where it needs to go, and what we desire, the way we desire it to go. It's not even close to that. So I'm not going to be a part of it anymore on paper or be able to make amendments myself, but I would rather it move forward and get polished and continue to be molded by the commissioners that have started it and some that will be coming on. I think it's a great effort, and I think it's I've got some things myself that I still feel like could be a part of it. So I would make a motion to postpone it to next month if we kill it or if it dies, because enough of us do not think that it needs to move forward. Then we'd have to wait a year to bring it back. So I think that to keep this alive and moving forward, I'd like to postpone it.
Motion to postpone by Commissioner Michaels, second from Commissioner French. We were on the motion to
Commissioner Michaels, I think it needs to be a little bit more fine-tuned, and I would like somebody in the agricultural business to look at it and get an opinion from them. To me, it's like anything, any resolution we write, we try to get people that are experts in the field that get their opinion to see if there are loopholes in it. And I agree with Commissioner Wells. If this goes to the state, I think the state will pick it apart. They really do. There are some loopholes there that I think can be fine-tuned and then send it to the state. I don't have any problems with doing that, but I do, and I appreciate the work you've put into this, because when I first read the initial resolution, it was awful. But this one really does a good job. It really does. But anyway.
Say what you mean.
Commissioner Akert on the motion to postpone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wholeheartedly disagree. I feel like the message is here. The commissioner that brought it before us is in his goodbye notice, and I feel like it can go to the state as it is. The invitation went out to everyone a week ago to offer feedback on the ways that they would fix it and make it better. And to now, if we didn't submit any feedback toward making the changes, to now say, whoa, well, we got to make changes to this in order to approve it, is kind of sad, really. This is a good thing, and we have made efforts to limit the widespread growth of housing in this community, in this county, through our votes. And this can do nothing but slow that down. And this is a suggestion. Everybody involved in it should know already that it is a suggestion, and that the people at the state level are going to do their thing no matter what level we send it to them. It won't get approved in black and white that we send them. It was an idea that's a great idea, and we should support it for the great idea that it was, and let the people at the state do their thing that they're going to do to whatever we send them, just because, well, that's what they do. But I hope that we can look at this with whatever fault it has and point the finger at ourselves for not getting involved if we feel like that it doesn't include things it should include. Because, well, I know that the text went back and forth between the people that were trying to help make it go, and I can't see any downside to passing it and letting it be what it was intended to be. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Jopling, for the first time on the motion to postpone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is now the end of my 8th year in office, and very rarely do resolutions come before us that really do feel good. Rarely does a resolution come that we vote on where I can say, man, I really felt like this did something good for the community, did something good for the county. And this is one of those things that I think does, if nothing else, by the fact that already this resolution has brought diabolical enemies together. Twice in one night. But I would say somewhat what Commissioner Akerd said also, that, I don't know that this body, obviously, as is sitting here tonight, is never going to have a chance to debate this again. It'll be the new commission that'll be sitting here discussing it. And I in no way do I want to try to predict what the new commission will do. But but this is our one time to do this with this body. So if we want to discuss it, it's our prerogative to do that. Or we can pass it on to the next commission next month and let them discuss it. But either way, I've never seen this body come to a complete agreement on any one topic unto itself, so it's probably unlikely that the new commission is going to completely agree on anything. So I don't know what a resolution like this would look like, or how it would even happen for everybody to come up with a perfect option to send to the state. Just to send messaging to the state that something needs to be done is probably as good as we can hope for in the first place. But I appreciate everyone at least entertaining this idea, and I think, and I hope that if it doesn't pass tonight, I hope that we can still leave, for instance, Brad's name as sponsor of this resolution, because he did sponsor this. I just co-sponsored it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Giles, for the first time on the motion to postpone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would strongly recommend that we do not postpone this particular resolution. And I would ask the members of this illustrious group to remember what the intent of this resolution was. And the intent of this resolution was to protect family farms, to help those folks that might not have the financial resources to pay the taxes on some of these things, and to prevent future growth in terms of housing and so forth. So I think you were spot on. You hit a home run with the intent of this thing. Is it perfect? Probably not. I don't think that it's terrible, like it was suggested. The first iteration of it was. But the bottom line is, I think it's very well written in terms of Blount being Blount County specific. I think there's advantages to that. I think we talk about inherited properties. There's advantages to that too, because if not, I've already talked to a few attorneys, said we'll just transfer your property around every 3 years and we won't have to pay taxes. So the fact that inherited is mentioned and highlighting this, I think, is extremely critical. So, as already been mentioned, when it's sent to the state level, they will manipulate it and they will massage it, just because, as Commissioner Akers said, that's what they do. So I would strongly recommend that we pass this particular resolution and move on with it, and then if we see what happens from there. But again, I'll strongly support moving this forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Michaels, for the first time on the motion to postpone.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I mean, I'm willing to remove or redact the amendment to postpone if that's what the original two sponsors want. I mean, it's no skin off my back. I don't care one way or the other. If that's the way they want to send it, then I can support that. So.
All right, Commissioner, are you requesting to withdraw your motion to postpone?
I am.
All right, is there objection to him withdrawing his motion to postpone?
I do have a comment.
Do you have an objection?
I would like to speak to the postponement. I don't want to withdraw the postponement just yet.
So you're objecting?
Pardon me?
So you're objecting? Okay. We got an objection to All right, Commissioner.
After my comment, but
Commissioner, I seem to have accidentally turned on your microphone, so please, please comment.
All right. I'm not against the intent of this resolution. I'm not against that. I live on a family farm that was land granted to the family back in the 1700s. Do you think I want that property to be sold? No, sir. No, ma'am. I do not. I've got children and grandchildren that I want that property to go to. Now, understand the intent. I'm just concerned. And I heard that we don't need to make changes. Folks, we postponed several resolutions tonight to make changes that you all thought needed change. We could have made changes tonight. This resolution, I'm afraid, and we have sent resolutions like this to the state that never made it out of committee because of how it was presented. That's what concerns me. We've sent several that never made it out of committee down at the state. So I feel like if we fine-tune this, they will take it, and like Commissioner Giles said, they'll fine-tune our fine-tune. I guarantee you that. But if you send something down there that just, I think, needs a little bit of work to make them look at it without shoving it under the table, then I think we need to try to do that. My only comment.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hannah on the motion to postpone.
So we're keeping the postponement? I'd
That
just
is,
like to
that is the
move to call
currently
for
pending,
question.
that is the currently pending question.
I'm just ready to vote. I'd move to call to question.
Okay. Are you
am
calling for
calling
the
for the-
question on the motion to postpone or all pending motions?
All pending motions.
You want to end debate on everything?
Yes.
All right. There's a motion to move all previous questions from Commissioner Hannah. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Caldwell. Commissioners, if you want to end debate on everything, then vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no. If the motion succeeds, we will, in succeeding order, vote on the motion to postpone. If that fails, we will go to the motion to amend and then to the motion to adopt. If you want to continue debate on the motion to postpone and other motions, vote no. All right. This is a motion on the previous question on all pending motions. If the motion succeeds to end debate, which is what we're about to vote on all pending questions, then we will vote on the motion to postpone. If that fails, then we'll go back to the motion to amend, and however that goes, then we'll go back to the motion to adopt. If
One step at a time, Chairman. One step at a time. Don't give too many instructions.
All right.
Just do one at a time. Be a good teacher. One information at a time. For all those in the worship.
vote yes, and we will stop debating everything. We will go down the list of all the pending motions. Motion to postpone, motion to amend, motion to adopt. If you want to keep debating the motion to postpone, vote no. If you want to debate any of the other underlying motions, you should probably vote no. Does anybody need clarification?
No.
All right. If you're in favor of ending debate on all pending motions, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 14 yes votes and 1 no vote.
The motion to whatever we're doing has passed. The motion for previous question on all pending motions passes with a 2/3 majority. We are now voting on the motion to postpone. If you are in favor of postponing this resolution and all attached amendments, vote yes. If you're not in favor of postponing, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 5 yes votes and 10 no votes.
5 yes, 10 no. The motion to postpone fails. We are now voting on the motion to amend. For clarification, this is the amendment that is sitting at your desk that we've been talking about. So if you're in favor of adopting that amendment as the new resolution version, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 15 yes votes and 0 no votes.
15 yes votes, the motion carries, and the amendment is adopted. Now we are back on the motion to adopt the resolution as amended. If you're in favor of adopting the motion as amended, which is still the one that we just voted to approve, vote yes. If you are not in favor of adopting the amended resolution, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 15 yes votes.
15 yes votes, the motion carries, and resolution number 2608018 is adopted. Item H, announcements and statements.
You got item 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item G14, Randy Early Howard, declination of elected position, August 6, 2026. Is there a motion to accept the declination? Motion from Commissioner Wells, second from Commissioner Giles. Any discussion? Seeing none, if you're in favor of accepting as received this declination, vote yes. If you're not in favor, vote no.
Mr. Chairman, there are 15 yes votes.
15 yes, the motion carries and the declination of elected position is accepted. All right, item H, announcements and statements. I was about to say, Commissioners, what a resolution to end on as your chair. Thank you all for the honor of bringing 4 years and privilege for each and for your dedicated service to the county. Each means a great deal to me for that privilege. And thank you for your kind words and thank you for your dedicated service to the citizens of Blount County these last 16 years. There's so many ways that you've improved this county government and this county, and I just want to thank you for everything that you've done and personally wish you a very happy retirement. And I would also like to thank Clerk Hasty for being as Council Commission. Thank you for your 8 years to the
End it like this. 2.5 hours already.
Well, thank you, Clerk Hasty, for your dedication.
It's been my honor. Thank you.
All right. Any other announcements or statements? Commissioner French?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
When you're done, I'll do the chair's announcement.
I have several thank yous. But first and foremost, I'd like to thank my family for all the years that they've supported me through missing meals, missing some sporting events, missing some school functions, but they've supported me in this role through all the years, and I want to thank them. Next, I want to thank the people in my district for allowing me to serve them over the last 24 years, 28 years, actually. There's a term in there that I wasn't reelected. So, since 98, I appreciate their support. Appreciate all the kind wishes. Appreciate all the emails. And I hope I served you well. Next, I want to thank our elected officials, department heads, and our employees for making this job really easier for me, because I was able, if I had questions, I went to those folks and talked to them and asked questions. And they taught me a lot. I still don't know it all, because I still learn every day from those folks. Plus, and I thank this commission for I think it was an interesting 4 years, but I think we all had the best interests of the county at heart, even though we may not have agreed on everything. I think we're all here for the same reason. With that being said, I want to offer a few words of advice to the new commission coming forward. First of all, please do your homework. Look at each side of the issue. If you have questions, go to the department heads, go to the elected officials and ask. Get information. Talk to both sides of the issue, and then make an informed decision. Second, respect the people up here around this horseshoe. You know, to get respect, you need to give respect. You need to earn it. You know, things don't always go our way. You know, we don't always vote the same way. But hey, we're here. We're comrades. There's no sense attacking each other. There's no sense going to Facebook, going to mommy and daddy, or going to anybody and disrespect your fellow commissioners. There's no reason for it. We all were elected by our constituents for a purpose. And that's do what we think's best for those folks and for the county. That's what we're here for. Next, I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish through the years. 16 years ago, we came on a commission that was in debt $250 million. $250 million, is that right, Mayor? Right. Brian, can you tell us what our debt is now? Around 90 million. We've done one heck of a job. We didn't do it by ourselves. We had help from the mayor and from the elected officials. We didn't do it by ourselves. But we all did it. And lastly, I'm going to issue a challenge to the next commission. This county, and excuse my language, is in one hell of a lot better shape than it was when I came on this commission. It's in a hell of a lot better shape when you all came on this commission. I'm going to issue a challenge to this next commission. I expect at the end of the next 4 years, I expect you to be able to say the same thing. That's my challenge to you. And I appreciate all of you folks, and I'm done.
Stop that, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I can't. Mayor, you recognized?
First of all, I want to say thank you for the kind words, and Ron, you're exactly right. And I did not say it when I was up there. I do want to say that how thankful I am that my family supported me, and my wife has been absolutely by my side for the last 16 years. And I also want to say that this is the first commission meeting she's ever been to in 16 years. And she's thanked me many times tonight for not ever having. No, I'm just kidding. But I just want to say this. If you don't the things that you miss in the last 16 years, my kids' ball games, my grandkids' ball games, the things that we've had that I've not been able to be a part of. But you know what? Those are things that I knew I was going to miss when I took the job, but the fact that I've had probably one of the special people in my life, my wife and my best friend by my side, was the reason that I was able to do what I did. And just thank you all for having a really low-key commission meeting tonight for her first commission. I just want to appreciate you for that. Thank you all very much.
Commissioner Michaels, announcements and statements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've not got a tenure like my co-commissioner, Commissioner French, but 8 years I've spent up here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's been an honor. It's been humbling, and I've gone through a lot of life situations in the past couple of years, and most of you have extended a hand, and you've been there for me, and I appreciate that. I also want to thank the people in my district that have supported me, and this is hard because I feel like I had more in me, more service to Blount County, and this is not the first time that I've served Blount County, and I've always looked at this as a servant position, and I too want to challenge the next commission, and I too want to tell you that we none of us know everything, and when we do quit learning is when we quit being of help. But this is a servant position. And I'm deeply humbled and honored to be able to have been a part of my life, and I'm anxious to see what the new commission can do. And I think, like Commissioner French and the mayor have stated, I do think that we have done a decent job of doing our job, and that is keeping an account for people, the citizens of Blount County. It's obvious with those numbers in our debt services that we've knocked a dent in it. But I do want to say that I have enjoyed each of you, and I know that sometimes I'm maybe viewed as hard to get along with, and I think I've heard somebody even say I was mentally ill, and that's okay. That's okay. We all have things that I do not take medication. Maybe I should. Maybe getting out of this will keep me from having to. But I am looking forward to continuing to be involved, but out there, and continuing to be available to the new commission, and seeing what they can do to continue to eliminate our debt and do the things that we're supposed to be doing anyway. But I do want to say that I feel like I have spent 8 years on my heels. And I touched on this a couple months ago, I think, but I hope that in moving forward that the commission can be more of a voice and more of a, each commissioner, respective of their districts, be a voice for their districts and make those districts within our county better. And I think that job has been somewhat overtaken by, well, this is the betterment of the county, the whole county. And, but I feel like I've been on my heels for 8 years in a defense mode, where I think this job is more of an offensive position. But maybe the next commission can be, the majority of their time can be spent like that. I think it can. But I do want the citizens to know that I appreciate them, and I do appreciate each of you up here, whether I have always agreed or disagreed, or we've had, not agreed on things more than we have. I appreciate that as much as I do you agreeing with me. Those that agree with me most of the time. So, with that, I'll end it. But thank you. Thank you, Blount County, and it was an honor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other announcements or statements? All right, I'll read the chair announcements. The Election Commission will meet tomorrow, August 19th at 11 a.m. in the Blount County Elections Office at the Blount County Courthouse. The Blount 250 Committee will meet, the meeting for Tuesday, August 25th of the Blount 250 Committee meeting has been canceled, and they will next meet September 1st at 5 p.m. The Animal Center Advisory Board will meet Tuesday, August 25th at 6 p.m. at the Blount County Animal Center. The Emergency Communications E911 Board will meet Thursday, August 27th at 4 p.m. at the Blount County Communications Center. The Planning Commission will meet on Thursday, August 27th at 5:30 p.m. at the Blount County Courthouse in Commission Meeting Room 430. The Agriculture Extension Committee will meet Thursday, August 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Blount County Operations Center. The Oath of Office ceremony will take place Tuesday, September 1st at 9 a.m. at the Blount County Courthouse in Commission Meeting Room 430. The Board of Commissioners will meet in special called session on Tuesday, September 1st at 11 a.m. at the Blount County Courthouse in Commission Meeting Room 430. The Public Service Committee will meet Tuesday, September 1st at 11 a.m. at the Blount County Operations Center. The deadline for drafted resolutions is Thursday, September 3rd by noon. The Board of Zoning Appeals will meet Thursday, September 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Blount County Courthouse in Commission Meeting Room 430. Blount County government offices will be closed on Monday, September 7th for Labor Day. The Budget Committee will meet Thursday, September 10th at 5 p.m., followed by a workshop committee meeting at 6 p.m. at the Blount County Courthouse in Commission Meeting Room 430. New commissioners, if you plan to attend the training in Murfreesboro, please see the clerk after the meeting. Commissioner Akers, you're recognized for announcements and statements.
The meeting in Murfreesboro was what I was wanting to bring up. If it conflicts with one of those meetings that you discussed. No,
Animal Advisory Center on Tuesday, August 25th.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Public input on items not on the agenda. I don't have any cards, so does anyone, please raise your hand if you wish to speak to items not on the agenda. Seeing none, the chair will stand. Commissioner Caldwell, you're recognized.
Yes, if it would be all right with the chair, I would like to say a quick prayer in leaving tonight, and especially for the new commissioners that are coming on.
Without objection, go ahead, Commissioner.
Lord, I thank you for the opportunity to give me to serve on this commission. Lord, I thank you for all the time that you give us to spend together in fellowship with one another. Lord, I want to pray for all those commissioners that are returning, all the new commissioners. Lord, I pray that you would bless them and give them wisdom and knowledge. Lord, I pray that they would always look to you for the answers. Lord, I want to pray for a retiring mayor, for our new mayor, all those new elected officials that are coming in, Lord, that you bless them and keep your hand upon them and all the work that they do for this county. And Lord Jesus, in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner. Motion to adjourn? Without objection, we're